Yo. I got a crazy build. Look at this. Look at this madness. Okay, you can actually take 3 Medusas. This one is limited to 2, but the Blood Rack Shrine has its own limits. So you can take 3 Medusas. You can go Marathi with Power of Darkness and Melkoths and just spam that. Along with the Spare Caster. With, where is it at? Dark Magic. Also Power of Darkness and Doombolt. And, yeah. And then you kite. Forever. That's it. Wand of Koraidon. So you got the Lord Snipe. You got the Cav Snipe. And then you got the Infantry Snipe. And then you just have tons of spells that you're just chucking out 24/7. It's great. What's not to love? Oh boy. Inspired by my Tzeentch Exalted Flamer strategy. Yeah, it should be interesting. But there you go. All right, let's get this tournament started. So let's refresh real quick. And then... all right, we're gonna start it up. Finalize the tournament. It ain't Swiss, it's single elim. So if I get knocked out, it's over. It's just over. Oh crap, I clicked finalize tournament. What does that even do? What if I just generate the bracket? Does that unfinalize the tournament? I clicked the wrong button. Huzzah, it still works. Alright. Alright, goblins. Tourney has begun. Alright. Snippety snipe time. We're up against Realm. Alright. Yo yo. I have not messaged them before. Is this a new player? Should be fun. The map is gonna be Norskin Rise. Okay. Pretty chill. Good map for the kite. Much excitement. Alright. This looks goofy. Nah, this is gonna be sick. This is gonna be amazing. I'm gonna have so much magic. I'm gonna have so many doom bolts. They're gonna get wrecked. Noble Naldor, happy to have you in the Twitch chat. High Elves versus Dark Elves, hell yeah. Hopefully you don't get Turin's internet. Yo, Turin's been suffering. Been straight suffering the last while. Ooh, Darkstar Cloak. Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this glorious build. It can't get better than this. We just summon in more Scourge Runners after. And then basically from there you just build up, right? You just normal build up strat. Spam infantry for days. This is beta build? Yeah, this is beta. Which is a cool color scheme. Will do. The Blessed Dread, why not? Yeah, so this is like the ultimate just don't fight them forever and just slowly chip away. I don't know how this works versus other kite builds, but should be at least decent. I haven't seen Daniken use Witch Elves much lately, by the way. Anyone else notice that? He's been spamming normal Corsairs, mostly. Kinda sad to see them go. Let's see, if this is High Elves, I probably do want some Cold One Knights, but I also want Infantry. I just have so much kite, though, that I don't really have space to fit Cold One Knights in. It's a little awkward. Okay. Oh, damn. Cold One Knight's got a price increase. Mega ripoff. Okay, this looks decent. This looks decent. Hopefully the Medusas don't get absolutely slaughtered. We'll see how this pans out. It's single elim, best of one. So if we lose this, we're just out. It's just over. Should at least mean it's a nice and quick tournament. Do I have to worry about Tempest? Maybe. Only a bit though. If he brings the Tempest caster, I can just Doombolt spam them, right? Just Doombolt for days. It's the answer to everything. Infantry have the Medusas. Single entities, we have the Scourge Runners. It is impossible to lose. Rapido Cav? Yeah, they're still around. You see them a decent amount. Seems micro heavy, just a bit. It's what? I have 5 single entities and 4 Scourge Runners. We're gonna have to dodge a lot of shots. I think the Medusa Shrine has move and shoot though. That's pretty hype. Also, by the way, this tournament is what, 5 rounds? 5-round tournament. Dang. So after this, if we win, we're up against Balam. Balam transfer. And then after that, we're up against Danican. Ew. Terrifying. And then after that, we'd be facing, I don't know what, Bilbo Baggins? And then after that, we're gonna be facing, oh, Jarix is on the other side of the bracket. Dang. Some big signups. Single Elim is very high stakes though. One misplay and you're out. All right. Surprisingly enough, no admin. No one contacted me for late check-ins, so that's very nice. Ready. Yeah, me and Danican. Danican's been around quite a bit. It's nice to see him playing. And then on Tuesday, we get to play against some 2 best of 9 series. Very exciting. We got 11 high elf units, nice and low, easy to snipe. So the idea is, I'm just gonna spam Doombolt. It's fairly damage efficient. So yeah, just chuck it out like a mad lad. Now, technically, I think Alariel can actually dodge Doombolts. But I think that's just going to be a little too difficult for my opponent. Oceanids is pretty wild, actually. Alright. How many entities? 16. Interesting. We have the Teclis. He has a net. He has a regrowth. No potion, though. Okay. Well, if I can just dodge these bolt throwers, I think I'm happy. Don't want to get netted by Teclis. That would be bad. But this is definitely a kite type situation. He does not have that many dudes. And let the doom bolting begin. Yeah, you see we can just dodge the bolt throwers. That's not a big deal at all. Magic missiles getting a bit of deeps in. Teclis getting his face blasted into oblivion. Let's hit him again. And as long as the Medusas keep dodging, they should be able to just avoid the bolt throwers. Artillery is countered by enough micro. So if you just kind of do that, it's fine. Let's keep getting more magic for life. Teclis already forced to regrowth himself. Not super efficient. as he does not have a lot of HP in general. And there's the Medusas. Absolutely murdering those poor spearmen. You'll love to see it. Sisters of Avalorn. We're just going to bully them. Oh, he's going to net the Scourge Runner. I see. This could still be very bad, though. Because he's getting himself set up to be blasted here. That's pretty brutal. Let's get another Doom Voltage on his face. He lost one chariot, but that is okay, because he lost an entire Sisters of Avalorn. These Medusas, they don't joke around, man. They're painful. Oh, the Deeps. The Deeps is high. You think his Bolt Throwers have done anything yet? 0 value. Hell yeah. Oh, that's what I like to see. Give me that. Oh my gosh. The 0 value Bolt Thrower. Everybody give it up for High Elf Ingenuity. That's sad. That's so sad. Oh no. I think they are. Okay, there you go. 33. They landed a hit. They have done a thing. Things have been accomplished. Oh. The poor Dragon Princess. Oh my god, it's a bloody massacre. Dragon Prince is getting brutalized. Gotta be a little careful with my lordy. Let's just keep generating some magic though. And then now is where we start building up. As long as I keep moving, it's pretty easy to play keep away from these guys. And each Medusa volley is just like no more life for you, really. So just gonna get another volley over here. Marathi can spam Melkots and all that on his stuff. There they go. And there goes all those guys, which is dying. Teclis will heal Cap. He will die eventually. It's not that magic efficient to do it this way, but he will die eventually. Ah, she's targeting my caster now. It's a good thing she can also run. What the net? Holy crap. That's actually kind of terrifying. Is she gonna die? That net does last a while. And she can have one last fade away barrage though on the Teclis Meister. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? Honestly, resummoning her is good enough for me anyways. Boop. Alright, Teclis is on the ropes. He's not looking too great. I think Marathi can just kill his face. The Medusas are cooking. Lots of value on these ladies. Soon enough I can Malkoth poor cavalry again. I still have 70 wins. That's very nice. Oh, got hit by the thingamabobs a little bit there, but I think we're still fine. Let's blast him with the Medusas. There you go. Teclis is on the run. He's gonna summon, what is that? Caradrian? Gets the Caradrian in, alright. Honestly, fine by me though. I think we can just escort this guy off. Unfortunately, I did miss micro one of my chariots, but it's okay. Because now I can, yeah, bring in the pain train. Lots of infantry, trigger my passive, and then we're good to go. I think we did kill his lord too. Look at these glorious bolt throwers. That one got value. It actually got 900 value, guys. The bolt thrower actually cooked. Surprise, surprise. Marathi's gonna have to play keep away from Caradrian. He's a little bit of a menace. Ah, he's slowing Marathi. I see. Could be a little sketch, actually. Though, with all my infantry coming in, yeah. He's just gonna tap out. Well, that's some solid bullying. Some solid bullying we did this day. Yeah, Medusas did great. Just blasted his poor infantry. Scourge runners were chill. Lots of value on the double spellcaster. Wowza. Alright. That's insane. Considering I had more magic oomph in me. I think you can really farm these guys. Because you have magic for anything that is expensive. The bolt throwers got 900 and 1,000 value. So they did actually pay for themselves. Surprise, surprise. They didn't actually win the game at all, but they did pay for themselves. Maybe you needed more bolt throwers. I don't know. Though that mass infantry swarm was going to be rough anyways. You basically just farm them and then you take a massive fight with all your infantry. And then they get overwhelmed by your passive trigger. That's the gist of what we're going for here. I might even sub these guys out for a couple spears, because sometimes there's some large units you got to deal with. But yeah, we got witch elves, we got corsairs, we got some sick cav. What's not to love? He just blast them. Balam transfer. Yo. We're up. Get him in here. I'm Dark Elves. Don't look at the value tracker. It's disgusting. Thank you. I'm happy you guys are also on the broken value tracker train. Let's see you play this versus Danican. If it's a Dark Elf mirror, that will be quite something. He's on Cathay, okay. Rapturous Expanse, alright. Grandest Cathay, here we go. I wonder if Skycutters would be shot to death by the Medusas or not. I've never tested that. This would be so annoying to play against. Absolutely. What's wrong with the army list? Why do people not love this list? This is the best. Been a while since you tuned in. I got bigger. I think the camera's more zoomed in. I am slightly stronger though than the beginning of last year. And I am playing Step Mania now to improve my cardio. You like the build? I think it's I think the Medusas are actually insane. They seem very strong. Like, you just kind of just romp around with them, right? What would their counter be? Maybe a bunch of Jezzails or something? Some sniper squads, mayhaps? I wonder if he's gonna have a Doombolt counter. The Doombolt is very filthy, by the way. It's quite good. The range is what makes it good. If it was 100 meters like Spirit Leech, I think that would be much better. Four cannons. I'll just dodge them. It's fine. If the cannons hit me, it's my fault. That's the rule of thumb. Most counters to these Medusas are countered by being good. Just dodge. Wait, you don't have APM? This is like what people do when they play Warhammer. This is like the first thing they learn to do. Drain units of ammunition by running in a circle. Alright? Legend of Total War knows how to do it. Your average Warhammer noob knows how to do it. Why not do it in multiplayer? Embrace the StarCraft mentality. Yeah, Marines counter Banelings. Just split, you know? Just split. Marines counter Lurkers in StarCraft 1. Just dodge. Easy peasy. Disruptors? What, they're gonna kill one unit? That's how I see Terran players do it at the highest level. If he brings a net, we just have to stay out of range of the net. Easy peasy. Alright, here we go. Same build. Same build. Pretty good luck, have fun. I'm ready to get knocked out by Danican though and just have a super short tourney run. I think I was the first to finish my match. Yeah, there's only 2 other people that have finished now that we've loaded in. But crazy. Hopefully this tournament doesn't go on long. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a Baneling. Yo, it's actually crazy though, the StarCraft splits. Some people go ham with those. Oh, there's a Conquest SFT today. Maybe I should have played that one, but there's a lot of signups today for this one. I guess people were interested. Colossus counter Marines. Yo, the splits that you have to do to dodge Colossi. That's pretty spice. Alright, what are we looking at? So first things first, we get the Doom and Darkness on this little lady. That is a Terracotta Sentinel. This guy is insane. He has Miao Ying. Bunch of crossbows with shields. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing a lot of artillery. That tells me this is probably just a Scourge Runner spam build, yeah? I think that's what we're doing. Scourge Runner number 3 has arrived. Alright. There you go, Miao Ying. She has a lot of HP and healing, so she'll be actually reasonably hard to kill here. But I think it's worth sniping her because she's just so expensive. Man, this is so brutal. Miao Ying's getting bullied. Whoop. Dodge with the Scourge Runners. Dodge with the Medusas. Then you shoot with the Medusas. Are you telling me this hill is actually blocking me? What in the ripoff is this? Well, I'm sure it's fine as long as we stay on the move here. These crossbows cannot hit me. There you go. Goodbye, Crowman. That was kind of a disgusting shot. I don't know what in the world. Are Medusas actually just that busted? Yeah, give me more Crowman, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, give me those free hits. Oh my goodness. Goodbye. Well, there they go, crumbling. These crossbows have done barely any damage. And the Medusas have done an extraordinary amount of damage. A rather ludicrous amount of damage has been dealt. Let's go ahead and shoot these peasant long spearmen, why don't we? I don't really need to capture more points. I think we're kind of fine as is. We just dodge a Reno just a little bit. Oh, what's that? You gotta reload for 10 seconds? Well, sucks to suck because you're dead. And then we just shoot and scoot. Wow. Oh my gosh, wow. This is quite something. Range units counter kite. Oh, how silly. How silly people are to believe such things. Whoopsie daisies. What's wrong with you? Come on, move. There you go. What is this? Jade Lancers. That's an 800 gold unit. Don't mind if I do. Yep. Well, you want to tear out off the map? Thank you very much. That would be greatly appreciated. Do I even need to use the other Doom Bolts? I can just, yeah, I think I can just chill spamming Melkoths. That honestly feels good enough. Miao Ying hiding for her life. As you do. He's gonna keep shooting at Marathi, but with the power of right-clicking, I think he's screwed. Whoop. Whoop. Let's get that volley off over there. Nice. Very nice. Gets a little bit of a heal. He's doing his bestest. Whoop! Dodge it! There you go. Easy peasy. Wasn't worried for a second. I can just start normal Doom Bolting these archers too. It's actually not bad versus tightly packed infantry like that. So you can kind of just chuck it out. Yeah, quarter HP damage is not the worst. That's a lot of damage over there, jeez. Alright. And then I think we're just gonna, yeah, get some Dark Riders and start just grabbing our infantry over here. As long as I stay on the move, they're already at half ammunition. So I don't think that's a big deal. And then it's my favorite. Crowmen Nuggies. Oh, they're dead. They're dead. Oh my god. Oh, this is terrible. This is terrible. What is this? Righteous Lances, let's go. Oh. The Righteous Lance is not like this. Hey, Marathi actually took a little bit of deep, so what was that? Was that Scourge Runner friendly fire? I'm not entirely sure. Alright, come at me. You darn Righteous Lances. Yeah, let me just Scooterino. There you go. Crossbows, am I right? What a joke! What an absolute joke these crossbows are. What is that? Peasant Horseman? Not a problem. I'm just gonna keep spamming these boys. So Miao Ying's on the run. We'll just bring our Scourge Runner chariots over there. Scourge Runner should be able to just dumpster those guys. I have all the time in the world, by the way. That part is definitely very chill. I can de-summon my Scourge Runners too if we really want to. I don't think they'll do much as a chariot, so yeah, I'll probably just de-summon them. Value tracker is showing that we are indeed ahead. Who would have guessed? 3 anti-air tanks moving around the battlefield. Dude, these Medusas are insane. They're actually just insane. You give them any amount of micro and they just... Remember, these are also anti-large melee specialists. Oh, the Jade Warriors. Yeah, anti-large terror bombs. But they're also anti-air flat cannons, you know, just... Yeah, just working them. Alright, I guess I might as well doom bolt these guys, why not? Alright, Terracotta is here. Let's just, I don't know. I think we just start swarming with dudes. I think we just... Because you see, I've killed so many of his things now that I'm pretty sure we can get the passive triggered when we get into the fight. So I think I might actually just want to get into a fight as aggressively as possible. Wouldn't want to waste the passive trigger, right? This lady's just giving me Winds of Magic. How wondrous. Just use the chariots here for these. Medusas will finish the job on those guys. And as soon as the passive is up, all my guys will have infinite vigor. And they can just kill everything. There you go. So the Righteous Lances are dead, having accomplished absolutely nothing. I'm gonna de-summon these guys. And then we're going to, there you go, there's the passive. So now all my guys have insane stats. Marathi has 69 melee attack, as the gods intended. Everybody has a million resistances. We're gonna send one Medusa in here just to cause a little bit of terror bombing action. And then we're gonna shoot Miao Ying out of the skies. A little bit of work, a little bit of a bombardment. Marathi should be able to cook her pretty hard. Scourge Runner we can de-summon now. How's the Medusa doing? I feel like it could be slightly better. Is he gonna bomb drop me too? Maybe. How's the Marath doing? I think she'll be fine. Timing that passive trigger is just great. Ah, so he's decided to dive the Medusas. But yes, they are very good in melee. So I don't think that's a big issue. Marathi, she's chilling. There's the Melkots. That's gonna murder those guys. Miao Ying apparently doesn't stand a chance against Marathi. And she, he charged the Medusas with Jade Lances and Crowmen. They're just chilling. This one has anti-infantry. Bonus anti-infantry 20. So Crowmen are actually quite bad there. That's brutal. Alright, and then my favorite unit. I de-summoned the chariots so that I could resummon the chariots. Hell yeah. That's a triple cap. Nice. Very nice. We'll just finish off these Crowmen. They are trying to run. And as you know, when you are in the air against the Medusas, you will get shot in the face and murdered. Let's get the chariots over to Miao Ying. I guess I'll blast this guy to death. How's this one doing? Oh yeah, dude, the stats, it has like double the melee stats of this cavalry. And bonus versus large 30. Are you kidding me? Yeah, no. This is a good fight for the Medusa. Oh, you want to disengage? I guess I'll just shoot your infantry. Bada bing, bada boom. There goes a quarter of their HP. This is balanced. Oh, man. I think if you don't have the right build to deal with this, I think you just get slapped in the face by Medusas. I think any normal infantry build is gonna weep. There's nothing a normal infantry build can do against this. Unless you have gunpowder. Like, you would need, like, gunners or something to force my guys to dodge more aggressively and not get too close. But this is... this is disgusting. This is so disgusting. Oh, the flank shot. It's a massacre. They're at half HP. They've done nothing. Medusa, yeah, they are, they're so much better than the Mantine. Crumbling Terracotta Sentinel. These Jade Warriors were born, and then they died. That was their entire existence. I have so much ammunition here, too. I could fight another Cathayan army. I'm ready, man. My guys are full vigor because of my passive. Give me another. I want more. They're shattered. Oh. It's a massacre. Let's go. All right. GG. All right, nice. GG's. So that's what happens. Crossbows are not the answer. The Medusas paid for themselves by quite a bit. Chariots were less useful, but still did really well, and then we just ran them over with infantry. Very few losses as per usual. Marathi got the mega value, 2,400. That is a lot, especially because I still had more juice. The crossbows did not pay for themselves. Miao Ying did not pay for herself. Many of the infantry units got literally zero value. That's disgusting. The righteous lances, they got 75 gold. Huge. Oh my gosh. Didn't summon the celestial dragon guard, thank goodness. That would have been a bad idea. All right, the true test though is Danican. Danican is next. Nice. Danican hasn't even started his match yet. Perfect. We are blitzing our way through this tournament. Dark Elves versus Grand Cathay. Dark Elves win. All right, so we'll get to spectate Danican. He was in round 2, but we've just been pile driving our poor opponents. They were newer players, right? They're not like tournament veterans as far as I could tell. So the true test of the build is coming up. Be ready for it. I gotta do some adminning. Okay, and then all right, that should do. Did I play any other Total War games? I played 3 Kingdoms a bit, but otherwise, I played Warhammer 1, 2, and 3. Historical titles never really grabbed me. Yo, kite builds are hilarious, yeah. If you got the StarCraft micro, kite builds for days. Let's see here. I think we have the code for Danikans. Wonderful. Nice. Let's do it. Game full. I need a spectate. Oh yeah, you don't even need to buy Warhammer 3 anymore. Yeah, you can just play multiplayer, right? If you own, what's it, 1 and 2? Hell yeah. Cracked DLCs to multiplayer. Most of them are pretty balanced. I think Warhammer, if you are good enough, you can win even with Nurgle until you go up against like the top players. But you can definitely get it to semifinals consistently with lesser factions. You just have to be good enough. What cooked build are you running today? Medusa kite. You just bring 3 Medusas and you dodge all their range attacks. You murder their infantry like no one's business. It's also just a mass single entity squad, so in theory they can also fight cavalry. I might need to get like Pit of Shades on Marathi if I'm really worried about them getting surrounded, but yeah. Yeah, I do wonder how this will go when I face, like, Danican. The counter to this build, I think if you have good enough ranged power that can't be dodged so easily, that'll help. Spacing is really good if you can play keep away, but you do need to capture points. It's a very high DPS build, too. Honestly, I think the build, it has its counters, but if you bring the wrong build, I think you just straight up die. And Daniken likes his infantry. He's also playing Demons of Chaos today? What mad lad? I think Demons of Chaos do not like this build, though he might have like a blue fire spammer. That could probably get some work done. Daniken is a Dark Elf main, though I've never seen him take something this filthy. He usually takes a Medusa in reserve, but I feel like Medusas are. I feel like they're not a reserve unit. I think they're a core Dark Elf unit. What do Giselles and Rattlings do against a Medusa? You can't dodge as easily, so they'll get some chip damage when you try to shoot. Was this build weak against? Guns? Mostly guns and nets. So if you can net them down, that will work pretty well. The build doesn't have a lot of range, so you do have to get in range of guns to actually do anything. Though my plan for that is kind of just a build up and then rush. So we'll see. In duos, I think Nurgle is pretty good in duos because they have very sturdy infantry and their weaknesses can be compensated. Like Nurgle gets kited into oblivion all the time, but if they can actually get in a fight, they're not bad. So I would say Nurgle not bad, but also not amazing. They don't have like crazy synergies. They're just like a solid infantry, you know, faction. But like, they're not going to help you rush either. They're not going to help you kite, so eh. Yes, the Medusas have really good stagger animations that help them dodge arrows. It's quite powerful. Just watch the previous games. I guess they're gonna get Medusas banned. Surely no one's gonna ban Medusas, right? Although, like, I don't know. I've always thought they were really strong. Every time I saw Danican bring a Medusa, I was like, dang, that thing's crushing it. But I might just be missing something. But they have anti-air, right? They have anti-cav. It's only like the most defensive of gun builds that I have to worry about. Because then I'm just stuck with Scourge Runner Medusa. Like it's just a bunch of kite. Like maybe Ushopti Great Bows could be annoying too, though I think they are dodgeable. Bretonia could rush me too. I think the Dark Elf counters still counter this style, but who knows? Maybe we've just discovered something that is actually OP. I don't know. Hell Cannon. Yes, I think Chaos Dwarves could shoot this to death with their death streaks. I think if I'm going up against a faction that will probably hard counter this, I don't think I'm going triple Medusa. Though it might actually be okay versus Wood Elves, strangely enough, because they are an archer faction, so you can dodge that. I don't know. There's some matchups where this might work, but like probably not Bretonia. Well, I don't know. Who's gonna cav rush me if I'm playing Dark Elves, right? I don't know. I don't know. Like, you got a bunch of Scourge Runners and a Medusa stack. I don't know. You can also take the AoE Soul Stealer on Marathi. Stop them from just blobbing onto you, right? And if they can't blob on you, you have 3 Medusas. Alberic can't kill them all. Danican going for the melee build. Very fun. Tomb Kings. Got a bunch of Skeleborgs. We got Arkin the Black. So that's going to be some Spirit Leech shenanigans. Sea Lord Acelin with Kite. Oh boy, that's, yeah. That's nasty. Alrighty. So looks like the brackets are progressing nicely. I am the only person that is in top 8 right now. Oh man. Love it. I really am one of the fastest players. That's not a good thing, by the way. You should take your time to make sure you secure wins. But the itch to go fast is the Slaneshi in me. I just really want to spoot as much as possible. Arkin the Black has Spirit Leech, Buna, and oh, interesting. Okay. Why does he have Aspect of the Dread Knight against a faction that is entirely ITP? This one I don't know. This is 4 Winds of Magic for +8 leadership. Oh, the magic attacks? Oh, don't tell me you're spending 4 Winds of Magic to get 20% more damage for 16 seconds. What's a good comparison? I guess it lines up with Flaming Sword. Don't tell me that's the strat though. The physical resist is not high enough. Like Death Frenzy's way better. 30%, 24 melee attack, ITP lasts 28 seconds. No one's running Death Frenzy. If no one's running Death Frenzy, no one should use Aspect of the Dread Knight for magic attacks. It's a 20% damage boost. Or technically it's 25% damage from what you'd usually be doing, but like that's not enough. It just doesn't last. Magic attacks on Nehekaran warriors. Alright, look. If these Nehekaran warriors clobber the Plague Bearers, alright, I'll stand corrected. But they're not gonna kill an entire unit of infantry in 16 seconds. I don't know. This is very sus, but who am I to judge? If it works, it works. Tomb Blade is pretty standard. That summons some skeletons, some magic boost. Liber Mortis is also weird. So he bought physical resist against an entirely magic attack faction. I think this might just be like default build strats. This might just be like, you know, a build that is good generally. And a lot of these are good generally, but like, you don't take Libra Mortis versus demons. At least I don't think they have anything that does normal damage. But anyways, I'm ready to stand corrected. Tomb Scorpion is hype. You usually see the big sphinxes because of their mass. CA changed how impact damage works a while back. And this thing just doesn't really have the animations to get good impact hits, but it's cheap. It's cheap and it causes terror. Not as useful versus demons, but that's what it does. Iridescent Horror has, what do we got? Pink Fire and Blue Fire. That's the standard kit. Pink Fire and Blue Fire are super good. Pink Fire really good versus skeletons. Tormentor Sword, dude. This is a Danican favorite. Herald of Corn with Tormentor Sword. He loves the cannot move ability. It's just solid. The 8 leadership, that's true. The massive 8 leadership. We got some Karnak action over here, right? How decked out is he? Just has the net, I assume, yeah. Free of the Blood God. So, overall, pretty standard. It's just, yeah. Infantry Corps with the Ushabti. Now, you gotta remember, the Ushabti are expensive. At 1350 gold, they cost as much as like 4 units of skeletons. So naturally, we can assume that Danican's army is going to be stronger in the melee than this Tomb King's army. But playing defensively will offer you about 500 to 1,000 gold worth of advantage. So as long as the Tomb King's player plays nice and safe, they should be able to make up that deficit. Thus putting Danican in a bit of a rough position, because he's just going to have about an even fight if he decides to take it here. Now, he might reckon his army is stronger. I think that is what we're seeing here. Spirit Leech on the Herald, not going to do that much. We're looking at 35% magic resist. Ah, but my favorite unit, the Shrieking Sky Rays, have arrived. Who will they scream at? Right there on top of the Scorpion Legion. A solid scream. You can actually aim that, by the way. I didn't know that until late last year. And the fight's slow. Danican has engaged a little early with some of his tools. It's not a big downside, though, because these guys don't really take a lot of damage. They're single entities. Maybe the Flesh Hounds could have waited a bit. But you can see he doesn't have his full force engaged. Now, that's a slight suboptimal situation, but not the end of the world. Danican's a very good player, so we're going to judge him for minor delays like this. You know, maybe these guys. Tomb King's actually opting to not summon in more melee, though. They actually take the Screaming Skull Catapult. Rather interesting. As the Catapult, it can definitely get some work done, but if the front line collapses, it's kind of screwed. Plague Bearers are going to be nasty, too. Warp Flame and Poison over everything. Debuffs for days. And Arc in the Black is getting sniped. Now, if Arc in the Black dies here, it's pretty over for the Tomb Kings. He's simply way too expensive to lose this early on. Danican does have a value lead. The Plague Bearers are cooking. The Nahakara Warriors are not able to kill them. I don't know if he used that magic boost. I don't know if he gave any of these guys magic attacks, but it's not helping that much. Kepra Guard also got hard focus fired. Oh my goodness. Kepra Guard, barely any value. That's a huge loss for the Tomb Kings. And a big surround over here too. Very uncomfortable. The flanking Plague Bearers are making their way over. And Danican pulls a lead. Now, Tomb Kings have a few ways to pull back a lead. Shopti Summon is one of those things. And the other thing is this passive. Each time a Realm of Souls tick gets hit, Tomb Kings get a massive heal. The problem? If your units are dead, they don't heal. You usually want this to tick while the fight is still going, not after it ends, similar to the Dark Elves. It's looking pretty rough. It's looking pretty bad. Big crumbling on the Skelly Spears. You got the Scorpion Legion almost dead. You got the Necropolis Knights being terrible. Necropolis Knights are actually not too great in general, especially if they're surrounded like this, but I've never had too much success with them. Though they are rather sturdy to hold.
At your service!
Vester, thank you very much for the 22 months. Jeez. Dang, were you... Oh, yeah, because I haven't been streaming for 22 months. I took a break, so you had some memberships previously before I left. But yeah, this Tomb King's infantry line's completely dead now. Danican has a dramatic lead. Ark in the Black did survive, and he does get a good Fury pick. This is not impossible for Tomb Kings to come back from. But I think a player of Danican's caliber, he's not going to let go of the victory. Ushapti summon, that's, you know, 500 gold, but the Blue Horrors already used their ammunition, so it's actually not that much. And Fleshhounds, by the way, they're really good versus these Horsemen. They're usually bad versus armor, but these guys got nothing. Iridescent Horrors pushing forwards. And all that's left is one Tomb Scorpion. This is why the Tomb Scorpion's kind of rough sometimes. It takes a long time to get value. Also, rip Ark in the Black. But yeah, Danican essentially just ignored this thing. And he just accepted that he's going to be 1,000 gold up as long as he just doesn't pay it any attention. Now, maybe if it was on the Herald, it could have helped fight him. Maybe it could have killed Karanak, who knows. Doesn't have magic attacks, but it's still a single entity. But yeah, just kind of got bullied. Tomb Kings need those campaign units. Yo, the crazy horsemen, the Grail Knight horsemen of the Tomb Kings. Let's take a look at these Sky Rays too. Pretty good value. Another Fury has been brought in. Now, constantly sending Furies on artillery can be quite risky. If your opponent just counters with summons, it really doesn't work out. So this might be a mild misplay from Danican. Tomb Kings could try to re-secure a point. Ooh, good pull away though. All right, Danican. Look at him. When I get ahead in a battle, I kind of go a bit easier because I get lazy. Danican though, he's paying attention. And what is this? Pox Riders. Here we go. Look at that Pox Rider charge. 0 value. Look at that massive charge. Oh my goodness. 30, 41 value, 50. They are getting mild amounts of value as I speak. Massive. I don't know how I feel about Pox Riders. That might be a little janky, I don't know. But at least they're good at clearing infantry. I can see why Danican has him in reserve though. Not the most impressive charge I've ever seen. What are these? Furies of Slanesh. Interesting. Didn't get the flank though, but it looks like they still win against Skelly horses. And that's it. Danican wins. So we'll be facing Danican then. I'm Dark Elves. Now, generally speaking, Dark Elves have a bad matchup into Demons of Chaos. And Danican knows that. He knows that that's a thing. So what if he just hard counters me and we die? Maybe. He could bring Pleasure Seekers. Yeah, he could Pleasure Seek me. The problem is that Demons of Chaos will supremely annihilate in the mobility fight. They will crush your face. Cold One Knights simply do not cook. So there's a very high chance that Danican will bring a lot of the Slaneshi cavalry and then we'll die. But if we trust in the Medusa, that's correct. We may have a chance. We'll see. Maybe the double Medusa actually works versus Demons of Chaos. It might. If he has Soul Grinders of Tzeentch, though, that could mix things up a wee bit. Gonna send him a lobby. So this is round 3, top 8, and it is Bleak Spire. Bleak Spire Labor Camp. So map has a lot of trees. It's generally good. But Demons of Chaos, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little worried. Interesting, interesting. Hey, maybe it works. Maybe it works. Cold One Knights are definitely a no-go though. You don't take Cold One Knights versus Demons of Chaos. You just don't. Witch Elves. Are Witch Elves good? Physical resist is kind of awkward. I could take Corsair Handbows. Only 2 though if I'm running Scourge Runners. Do I need Harpies? I think Harpies generally don't trade that well into Furies unless they have some marvelous support. I have to be very careful. We must be extraordinarily careful here. To not die to the Denican. Because there are some nasty, nasty things he can bring. Doombolt is not banned. It is not banned. It got nerfed, so we're kind of currently exploring whether or not it still needs bans or not. Interesting. Alright, so what do I want? Dark Riders are not amazing versus Slanesh Cav, but they can kind of get the job done. If you could swarm them and get that cavalry advantage. Furies shouldn't be a big deal. I think I can ward off Furies, especially because the Medusa shots are so crazy. They just delete Furies. He could have a Skull Cannon, Hellforged Bellows maybe. Not the most terrifying thing in the world though. I don't think that gives me a lot of pause. And generally speaking, Demons of Chaos, they don't like being kited. So maybe I just do that. Or maybe I just do that and we're good. Fingers crossed. You only know Daniel's woes in Immortal Empires. What's he like in multiplayer? He's also bad. Can you believe it? CA made him bad in both game modes. He will see play sometimes, some of the Demon Princes, but generally speaking, people don't run Demon Princes. It's a rough year to be a Demon Prince. Yeah, whoa. CA did the impossible. Shrines are technically chariots. The Medusa shrine does not count as a chariot. It's quite surprising. Red Olgor weeps. Red Olgor has been bugged, man. Demon Princes, the great weapon ones, they can't hit small targets that are sitting right in front of them. So Red Olgor loses to our Herald of Tzeentch on a discus because he gets too close. Very sad times indeed. But alright, I'm up against the Demons of Chaos. Daniken likes his infantry builds, so if he goes infantry, in theory, Triple Medusa is good here. In theory. You can't load a Demon Prince in campaign into multiplayer because tournament rules typically restrict that. Because yes, that would be OP otherwise. It'd be kind of fun too. But good luck, have fun. He has 10 units. So if Daniken decides to Hellstrider rush me, Seeker rush me, we might just die. There's a non-zero chance that I just get taken Pound Town. Now, first ever tournament game for me. Oh my gosh. Balam, no. That was your first tournament game? Well, I hope you had a good time. You picked the wrong day to play. Seriously though, if you have any questions, hit me up. I love talking about Warhammer. Is that the double soul grinder of Tzeentch, you mad lad? Well, I guess he knows that I like the Scourge runners. So I can't really contest the double soul grinder. Unless we hit him with the Doom bolts. At that much HP though, it's a little too high. Herald of Tzeentch has blue fire. Overall, nothing too insane. You got a little blue fire caster. Now I can Doom bolt his face. It's not as dodgeable as one might expect, so I think we might just go for that. We're gonna capture the high ground. And we're gonna find a way to deal with these soul grinders here. There you go. She's gotta run. Marathi needs to run. Okay, here we go. Can he dodge it? Let's go! It hits! Hype. And the Scourge Runners are actually hitting these guys. That's pretty funny. So getting a little bit of work on them. Alright, there you go. A few arcing shots over there. All right, now I gotta actually bully these soul grinders. Now, they don't do that much damage. That is a nice blessing. His herald is on the run. He fears the doom voltage. How much damage do these guys do, though? Okay, as long as Marathi's on the move, she can dodge it decently. Okay, and he's just trying to bait me out. I see how it is. All right, well, let's start the Medusa. The Medusa kite. Just gonna get a few pot shots here on the blues. There you go. It's a decent amount of damage. And then we're gonna get another Scourge Runner Chariot. There's a doggo on the high ground, but I don't think we really have to worry about that. But yeah, you see the soul grinders? They're really working my poor Medusas. Gotta be a little careful about that. We're gonna get some decent damage on the blues though, and I think we're just trying to get damage in before he can kill the Medusas too hard. Dang, those soul grinders though really cook them, don't they? Yeah, I think one Medusa is gonna be on the run. There's no dodging those soul grinders. There just isn't any of that business. So he's gonna kill one Medusa. The soul grinders are more expensive than them though. So I don't think it's a massive trade just yet. We still have a lot of time. He's also moving on to the high ground potentially. I can just melee mode with these chariots. And I think that kind of just works. I might be completely mistaken here. But that might be able to get some working. There you go. Melee mode it up. We're just going to try and blitz through here. Because he doesn't have that much that can actually stop this, right? Yeah. Damage is decent. Okay. He's going to kill one of the Medusas, though. We're going to pull the chariots back. Okay, we're going to get another Doom Bolt on his Lordy. Chariots will be running for their lives. Okay. He gets hit. Very nice. Then we're just going to go Lord hunting. So far, damage is good for him, though. Those soul grinders are nasty. Rathi's just going to land. And then she's going to attack them so that she goes back up in the skies. I think I misplayed that. She did not go back up in the skies. Run, Marathi, run! Alright, I can Doom Bolt him again, though. That's hype. As long as Marathi doesn't die, I think we're okay. Flesh Hounds are just kind of trading, too. It ain't too bad. Like I said, though, this is a bad matchup for a reason. Dang, those double soul grinders kind of wild, though. Now I wish I had a mass infantry build. But it appears he wasn't ready for it. Another Medusa bites the dust. Double soul grinder. How terrifying. And yeah, I'm going to have to secure the high ground, I believe. Because I need to buy time to uptrade. I don't think we're going to uptrade, though. In all honesty, I think double soul grinder of Tzeentch just hard counters us. But we're going to stick with it. Dude, those soul grinders got so much value. Oh, geez, yeah, they're paid for themselves. He could desummon them, and he'd be great. Maybe I should have just desummoned all my guys at the beginning. But yeah, when you wear your strategy on the sleeve like this, or maybe he just was really worried about Scourge Runners. I wouldn't put it past him to just accidentally get the mega hard counter. I do have a plan B though. So technically my passive hasn't triggered yet. If I sit back and relax for a little bit, maybe I can summon a bunch of dudes. We can use our Scourge Runners over here to bully his soul grinders. Maybe. I won't have any more Medusas though. But okay, should be able to get some work done here. Is it even worth shooting at these guys though? I don't know if it is. Okay, one Scourge Runner. No, that's the Medusa Shrine. Okay. It has rallied. So just gonna control the high ground. I could resummon. Okay, you know what? I think this is crazy, but what if I just resummon a Medusa? He's not gonna resummon the soul grinders, right? That would be absurd. And if he can't resummon the soul grinders, that means that I can actually start Medusa kiting the Mad Lad. So I think that's the play. I think that's the play that we're gonna go for. They are out of ammunition, so he has to choose to desummon them or to keep them around. He does have a lot of flesh hounds, but that is entirely manageable. Couple Nurglings, okay. I can't afford to let him take the high ground, so we're just gonna go here. Oh, one of them still has ammo. Interesting. That charge is actually okay. Just a couple seekers too. Okay, we're gonna get a bombardment on his lordy. Come on. Come on, beat him up. Marathi's so close. She's so close to killing him. Yes. Okay, that's actually a good sign. That's a very good sign then. So we got the we got the Doom Bolt on his lord. Boop. All right, you know that's gotta be rough. And then we can start Medusa kiting him. All I need now is just time, right? I just need to capture a point so that we... Yeah. I just gotta capture a point here. Now, killing off the soul grinders is no simple task. And he's gonna have some of the best cavalry in the game against us. So I'm pretty sure we're just dead to that, but I might as well give it a shot. Let's dodge with the stuff over here. Gonna get some sick charges. Medusas are gonna get in there. We're gonna bully the fiends, mayhaps. Ah, crap, we let a Dark Rider get caught. Hey, but the passive triggered, that's good. All right, it's now or never, right? I got the passive going. We're gonna kill the Soul Grinder. What am I doing with Marathi? She's gonna die. She lives, what a mad lad. All right, we're gonna bully him with this. Come on, Dark Elf passive. With your power, anything is possible. Medusa's doing a decent job here too. We'll have another, Melkoth's over here. That's not bad. Medusa's actually fighting pretty decently. I think it's just the time pressure now, right? So I need to actually be able to secure some points, and then we're good. But Marathi actually got some pretty good deeps in. The chariots have renewed vigor, so they're actually doing pretty well at disrupting his blues and such. Where's this caster at? She's just fighting a soul grinder, all right. Value's actually getting brought back up a little bit. That's surprising considering how bad the early game went with the soul grinders. I'm kind of wondering if I should have just waited. I feel like I should have just I feel like I should have just built up. I think like trying to skirmish early on against the soul grinders is a bad idea. If I just sat back and built up, I think I could have just taken a good fight with my infantry, because this is actually not going super great for him. Like, I guess he does have some really good cavalry though that I wouldn't have been able to kill. So I guess time was kind of the essence, and yeah, I think we're just gonna die now. It's over. It's over. There's really nothing we could have done though versus double soul grinder. I would have needed a full infantry rush, right? The lord sniping is good though. We actually did kill his lord. I think that is rather impressive. But yeah, GG. Well played. Dang it. Okay, yeah. So against soul grinder anti-kite, you're just not gonna do it. I didn't expect him to go double soul grinder though. I thought he was gonna go cavalry. But I guess it really makes sense against Scourge Runners, because Scourge Runners are usually the main thing that you're using. What was his mobility? So he had 2 Fiends and 3 Flesh Hounds. I wonder if we could have won this if I just went for like a build-up. Like, what if I just get rid of the Medusas and just mega build-up? Because he realistically only has 7 units here. We'll never know though. That was a really rough counter build. But I guess we will get to spectate Daniken. Bracket is going pretty smoothly. Very nice. Lord is pretty cheap too, yeah. On the Discus, he's like 1,200. It's not a terrible lord to snipe, but it's not like mega value by any means. Let's see. Obviously, we could hard counter this with a full rush, I think. But I do question if we just lose because fiends. I do know that's kind of what happens if you go for that. Is there a way to counter the soul grinders, though? What if we went for like... Okay, if I full rush with the Medusas and use them to just melee the soul grinders, would that work? I don't know. Full build up. I'd have 5 Dark Riders, a bunch of Corsairs. Medusa's fire straight, no arcs. I definitely could have played that one better, though. You know what I should have done? I should have gone Shades. Should have Shade kited Danican. That'd be jokes. I'm interested to see how he does in the rest of the tournament, though. Demons of Chaos is generally not a super great faction. Alright. Do Medusas beat a Zinch Soul Grinder in melee? For the cost, yes. They cost 1,300. And the bonus versus large, I think, gets you there. The problem is I also had the 2 Scourge Runners, and they wouldn't have really helped. Because I needed to rush them, right? Playing Dark Elves against Danican somehow feels wrong. That's the rough part about playing someone's main faction against them. They know the weaknesses. I was a little hopeful after they ran out of ammunition, though. Honestly, if he didn't have Soul Grinders, I think we just win. So if he has to take Soul Grinders, then do we just always infantry rush? Bit of a dice roll there. Although, I think if I went mass Shades, it would come down to whether or not I can kill the Fiends and Flesh Hounds, right? Because the Soul Grinders suck versus Infantry Kite. This is why Infantry Kite is the best. Because it's just so much harder to counter. Shade Kite is janky, though, because you have no range. But let's say I went Shade Kite. Would we have made it? I do not know. You got beat by Danican after not playing for a year? That's how it goes. There's a few super sweaty players. Bolt throwers would be so funny, though. I'm pretty sure they'd suck versus Soul Grinders, sadly. Though they don't have a lot of range. Let's see here. Alternatively, I leave the kite in reserve and I start with an infantry rush. That might be the smartest play if we're going up against Demons of Chaos. I'm so used to other factions that just don't care about Soul Grinders, but dang, do Dark Elves really care about Soul Grinders? Like, if I'm playing Empire and they have Soul Grinders versus my Wagon Kite, the Wagons just shoot them to death. It's hilarious. Maybe I should have skirmished with the Chariots only and leave all my SEs back. Do the Soul Grinders kill Scourge Runners quickly? Handbows? Handbows would be viable. Yeah, you can do some Handbow Kite. Would it be consistently good, though? It depends on if you can fight off Fiends. Fiends and Pleasure Seekers, right? If you can't kill them cost effectively, you're screwed if you go for infantry. Are you hosting in a couple hours? Hell yeah, Pope Patty. This tournament should be done quite soon. We're already having people get to top 4 now. Danican's in top 4. We got Charix, Serika. Probably they'll be facing each other in the top 4. Beastmasters would do okay. Don't they get blitzed by the soul grinders? Shot to death? Let's see, what else? What other options do I have? Because you have the one thing where you can just drain them of ammo. I'm pretty sure one soul grinder can kill 2 scourge runners, so it would pay for itself. What else is there? Although, like, if I just had 3 full health Medusas, we'd be fine. My gut tells me, though, just go for an infantry rush and have Medusas in reserve if they don't have soul grinders. I think that would make the most sense. Any secret tech for Tomb Kings versus Demons? Tomb Kings versus Demons of Chaos. I think Demons of Chaos... Don't they not like Man-Tide? Can't you just go with like 1,000,000 Skelly Spears? I think you can do that. Just go with like a ton of infantry. And then have something to kill Plague Bearers. So like maybe some Chariots in reserve. Then you need something to kill off the Cavalry. So Porkle Stalker should be good enough for that. And then I think that's good. Demons of Chaos, yeah, they'll have a harder time overwhelming the Man-Tide. Full Rush might have been interesting. Scourge Runners run over the Horrors and Medusa duel the Soul Grinders in melee, yeah. The biggest problem is like the moment he brings Fiends onto the battlefield, and it's why it's a bad matchup. But the moment he brings Fiends or even Seekers, like, we're mega dead. And I'm not fighting in a spawn zone against possible Fiend Seeker summons on top of me. Have you ever tried StarCraft 2? Yeah, I was low masters StarCraft 2. Yeah, Chariots, Stalkers, and a lot of infantry. I think that's the way you play Tomb Kings versus Demons. Changebringers wreck Man-Tide. So you can have Melkoths and some Chariots in reserve to counter that. I think if you go Man-Tide, you can counter most of the things that would wreck you, except for Seekers. Except for Seekers. What's the Dark Elf counter to Seekers? I mean, Fiends or Seekers. They're both painful. Seekers you can Melkoths. Fiends? I think your best option is... more Man-Tide? You could just more Man-Tide it. That's usually what other factions do, but it's too expensive for Dark Elves. You were low GM, still obliterated by all the OGs despite being pretty good at Warhammer 3. The Warhammer 3 is very knowledge-based. It's different from StarCraft 2. Closer to StarCraft 1 in my gut. Gut feeling-wise. Because there's like a lot of weird micro tricks you need to do to get your units to do what you want them to. Whereas StarCraft you can get by just by speed of micro. Oh, you mean by in Warcraft 3, I see. Warcraft 3 is also kind of different than StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 is very much like a speed RTS. Warcraft 3 should be close though. I feel like if you really grind it, you can get there. I wonder if you Dark Elf just Man-Tide it though, if that's enough to beat demons. Like if you just take like 5 Corsairs, a bunch of Bleak Swords, a bunch of Spears, like just a 15 stack of all that infantry. If that's enough to just run them down. Because if they have double Soul Grinder, they're not going to do anything, right? They just have to sit back and let you triple cap. That's kind of hype. I think I might try that next time I get to play Dark Elves. Warcraft 3 free-for-all? Ooh. It's nice because it breaks the usual free-for-all problem. Because fighting people gives you a benefit rather than just being a downside. Because in a normal free-for-all, you just want to not fight. In theory. so that you can just build up. But with Warcraft, you level up very high. Alright, so we're still waiting on the top 4. Unfortunately, my match versus Danican was very fast. I am quite excited, by the way, for the best of 9 versus Danican on Tuesday. I feel like Dark Elves is actually a pretty strong kite faction. I kind of want to start mixing them into my roster, because I feel like if we play Dark Elves versus like Warriors of Chaos, Norska, or Beastmen, these factions that don't have a lot of anti-kite tools, I think they would crush it with this Medusa build. I'm pretty sure Dark Elves would do really well there. It's very untested. But, like, yeah, Khorne, like, any melee faction. Give me melee factions, this build would do so good. Especially with how well they kill Furies. The Medusas. Oh yeah, contesting creeps for items for Warcraft 3? Hell yeah. But yeah, it should be a little bit of a wait. Feel free to get some water. And then after that, we'll get the semis and the finals pretty quickly, I imagine. We just have the round 3 finishing up. What would you say the maximal strengths of Empire? Something they do super well. So Empire have War Wagon Kite, which is a type of kite that no other faction has. They also have really nice skirmishers with Outriders and Outrider grenade launchers. It's not the core of the faction. You can't win with just those tools, but that's a very strong upside. And the other super strong upside is they have some of the best infantry in the game. At least the best cheap infantry. If you look at the stats of Spearmen Shields, for 350 gold, they basically have the same stats as like a high elf spear unit at 500 gold. They're not far off. They're just down a couple points of stats. And they have more HP. So you have essentially what is the cheapest unit that is ultra sturdy in the game. There's very few units that contest Empire high elves, Empire shielded spearmen. They also have the Sunmaker. Sunmaker is really hype as just a pure infantry clearing artillery piece. Skinwolves wreck Medusa Kite, so it doesn't work against Norska. Do they? Do Skinwolves beat Medusas in a big grind? Like, what if I Soul Stealer them? Or what if I like just chuck a Malkoths on their face and then just fight them with the Medusas? Because the Medusas are really good melee fighters. Plus you have Scourge Runners. So it's not like the build can't tussle in the melee. Triple Luminarch. If the Luminarchs could aim, they would actually be the strongest unit in the game. If they could actually hit consistently, because their damage is insanely high. The Lord sniping would be bonkers. But they run into too many line of sight issues. Skinwolves feel like they should be anti-infantry instead of anti-large. You have Bjorg for that, I guess. I think triple Medusa against Skinwolves, the Medusas win. I could see a Skinwolf beating one Medusa, absolutely not multiple. With 3 Medusas, you would need a lot of Skinwolves, and then you run into mass route issues. Maybe some magic can help out. There's some good leadership bombs you can do. Medusas have no armor. I don't know. Like, is this just theory crafting at this point? I feel like this is just theory crafting on both sides. I don't think we can get an agreement. Because I don't think either of us have actually seen skin wolves fighting 3 Medusas at the same time. So we're just going by gut feeling. The armor thing is important. Like, I'm sure the skin wolves can deal damage, but 3 single entities do a lot of damage. 1 single entity, definitely though. 1 single entity would have a rough time. Although, doesn't Marathi have Doom and Darkness? So you could give a good leadership bomb to those skin wolves, maybe. Kaiser played the matchup. Ah, so you have seen it. I see. Well, if the skin wolves win handily, even against multiple Medusas, then you're kind of screwed. If even magic can't help it, then you're kind of screwed. I would love to try it out, though. I think that would make for some sick testing. Have you ever done auto-resolve only campaign? Some campaigns are auto-resolve only. Just play normal Warriors of Chaos one. And then it's super easy because armor is very favored there. I'm personally a little skeptical still of the skin wolves thing, but if you've seen it happen, then I don't really have much else to say. I'll just have to see for myself then. Normal dwarves run for real. That's how you do the dwarf paint the map speed one. Hey, Charix has made it to the top 4. So there are 5 more rounds and today's tournament is done. It's going to be a short one today. Mostly because I got some other stuff to do. Imagine being a werewolf and you don't even have armor piercing. Have you seen, like, that's like, imagine a cat trying to scratch metal, right? That's not gonna work. Skin and flesh and bone is not going to do anything to actual armor. Although I assume you could crush some armor. But some of the units in this game have, like, very, very thick armor, so I don't know. Yeah, I think the biggest problem with this Medusa Kite build is I don't have a lot of ways to fight cavalry. In general, like strong monstrous cavalry outside of the Scourge runners. That's a little bit of an issue. Do you play other Total War games? Nope. Just the Warhammer series and 3 Kingdoms. My cat does damage against unarmored, I can tell from experience. Just give Skin Wolves super high damage versus unarmored. Severed Claw should take 0 damage from most stuff. Yeah, well, you know, you can assume that some hits are going to pass the armor unless it's like full Gromril plate. How'd you find 3 Kingdoms? I found the map mechanics were kind of interesting. I'm not a big map mechanic guy though. I'm more about the battles, and the battles themselves were kind of eh. The battles didn't really do anything for me more than what a Warhammer battle would do. In fact, I had less to enjoy because all the units were not as unique as Warhammer. Not even close, right? So yeah, it didn't really hit that hard for me. It's a fine game though. Like, I don't have any issues with the game. I just think it's not for me really. You got a few hundred hours in 3 Kingdoms? I only played like a couple campaigns. Very little time spent playing that. Do you have to take Marathi? Could you take another Lord? Absolutely. And I think if I was up against Demons of Chaos, I might take another Lord. The whole soul grinder hard countering is like way too sketchy. I can't afford to take a build that gets hard counted that much. You're trying to find any excuse to auto resolve? Really? That's interesting. But if you just auto resolve everything, doesn't it just become Civ 5? I guess there's nothing wrong with Civ 5 or any Civilization game, I guess. I guess it's the nice thing about Warhammer. Beast Lord with Scourge Runner and Tormentor Sword to stop Cav, maybe. You still run into the double soul grinder issue, right? Now, you can keep your Lord away, but the biggest thing, first and foremost, you need to have less than 3,000 gold worth of single entities at the start, otherwise a soul grinder can wreck you. In fact, you probably want less than 2,000 if possible. I wonder if I had a normal build with just bleak swords and dark shards, that would have hard countered them. But man, it would suck so hard versus the mobility. I guess if it's a coin flip matchup, that's not the end of the world either. Although I don't know if Medusa Kite even beats Fiends. The Fiends might just be too problematic, too fast, and they just catch you. But clearly Danican wasn't worried about an infantry style, so he felt confident just chilling, right? And since he's a Dark Elf main, he probably feels that infantry Dark Elves just doesn't win versus demons. I think I played Civ 5, just Civ 5. Oh, just a horse. I see. I was wondering why you're typing nay in chat. Happy to have you here. Looks like Adler has arrived, so the bottom bracket should also be starting, or already starting. Indeed it is. Serica vs Charax and Danican vs Adlering. The winners shall make their way to the grand finals. And then hopefully we get to see some spectacular games. But first, High Elves vs Demons of Chaos. I would love to see how Danican plays this one out, because in my head, Shadow Warrior Kite annihilates here. You can even go a normal High Elf build and it'll be pretty good. Though, knowing Danican, with good enough Cav micro, he'll get into the backfield and cause issues. But I would personally say this is severely High Elf favored, because they don't have the armor piercing issue. They can actually use all their cavalry to their maximum effectiveness. If I was Danican, I would be thinking real hard. Now, there are some rush builds, though. You've seen my rush Demons of Chaos build. Mayhaps the Danican will go for that. Eldar. I think I would probably end up playing some Eldar in 40k. I think just kiting is too fun, man. It's just too fun. Corn mobility build. Get a bunch of Furies, get a bunch of Flesh Hounds. The thing is, that doesn't really do that well versus High Elf Cavalry. High Elf Cavalry are very well suited to fight Demons of Chaos, because they are just as effective as Dark Elf Cavalry, but they have the cheaper by like 150 a pop. That's mad savings. Are you gonna do a multiplayer tier list at some point? Maybe, but it's not planned in the slightest right now. I'm just getting used to streaming again, and at some point I'll start figuring out videos. Really, Eldar, the prime magic faction, huh? But yeah, I think Dark Elves are generally pretty strong. I would say I like Dark Elves outside of a handful of matchups that feel terrible for them. But otherwise, I think Dark Elves can be very hype. Have you tried Serious Sam? I think I saw someone play it a long time ago, but that's about it. Alright, what are these guys going for, though? I'm expecting Danican to go heavy on the cavalry with demons. If he goes Plague Bearers, he's a mad lad. Plague Bearer build is just, it's asking for trouble. He could go for Bloodletters and just kind of full rush it, but the map is Glinted Toofs. Glinted Toofs is, in general, it's not a great rush map. It's really long, so I don't think he can go for a lot of infantry. I think he just gets kited by Adler. I'm calling it right now. I think Daniken, even though he might be the better player, I think he just dies here. Adler would have to make a significant misplay to die here. You're a sucker for Tau. I think Tau will be hype, but if they end up being the dwarves of 40k, I'm gonna have to ditch them. Yo, Dawn of War though. I hope Dawn of War 4 is balanced. Turin said Dawn of War, what, 1 or 2 was like really unbalanced in the remake and they didn't fix it. So we might actually have a publisher or a developer that disrespects the multiplayer community more than Creative Assembly. That would be bad. But I would like to dabble in Dawn of War just to see how it is. Oh, Daniken's ready. Yo, I'm excited. Watching Daniken play is great. I wonder... Okay, wait, no. There's no way Adler takes Oceanage, right? Oceanage would be hilarious, but terrible. Although, maybe not as bad as you'd think. If you just look at their stat line, Oceanage, like... As long as there's no blues or pinks. If there's blues or pinks, it's over, but... I think they could get some work done. Oh yeah, I guess Tau aren't known for the tankiness. So what, they'd be Vampire Coast? Hell yeah, give me that. You're most interested to play Tyranids? Tyranids... Are they a melee faction or a shooty faction? Everyone has shooty in 40k, right? Are Tyranids the most melee faction of all of 40k? Shadow Walker Kite against Triple Pleasure Seeker. All right. So this is Adler's game to lose. If Adler misplays here, he loses, all right? But Triple Pleasure Seeker is insane. Here's the thing about Pleasure Seekers. They are extremely high DPS. Each entity, all right, hits for like 1,000,000 damage. They have charge bonus up the wazoo, 100 speed, but look at that HP. Daniken's army, outside of his single entities, they have 21,000 health. They have less HP than 2 units of zombies, okay? That is very low. And the High Elves have 4 units of infantry, 3 Shadow Walkers. They have Melkoths, which is the ultra counter to these Pleasure Seekers. And they have Sea Lord Acelin. Now, Acelin himself, he's on a Skycutter Chariot. He imbues magic attacks in 35 meters. Gives charge defense versus large, so technically he could brace with the Shadow Walkers. That's actually an insane tech. And he goes for the early Melkoths. Now, not a lot of magic to spare, but this is kind of a... You know, I'm going to wear down my opponent early on because this is going to be a quick fight, right? It's not going to be a long game. Magic conservation is not that important here. And the Melkoths takes out about 20% of their HP. Maybe a bit less, actually. So that's bad for Daniken. That's like 10% of his army right there. That's brutal. Value tracker being wonderful as always. And immediately we're going to see a Fury Summon. Now, initial Fury Summon is not going to do much here. Gets a little bit of a barrage there. Daniken dodges. He's going to get the rest of his barrage on the Furies. The question is, though, is Daniken going to commit? We have Acelin nearby, ready to fight. The Fury Summon is like a one-use ability, though, so you kind of have to commit. Gets another Melkoths on the Pleasure Seekers. Immediate box up going down. Remember, everything here can get charge defense versus large. Even the Sea Helms, or the Silver Helms, which is kind of hilarious. You can just not charge with the cavalry and you're fine. He gets a big debuff though. It only affects the leadership though, Phantasmagoria. So unless he can get a massive break, it's not gonna work. And right now, Aislinn is being a Chad. +4 leadership, +5 melee defense in this entire blob. That's keeping the Silverin from routing off here. And if they don't get terror routed, it's over. Oh my god, I think everything's gonna hold. Oh my gosh, the leadership bomb fails. I repeat, the leadership bomb has failed. Oh, the humanity. Jeez Louise. Pleasure Seeker going down. Other one eats a volley of arrows, takes some more damage. And I think Danican, you know, in a bad matchup, you gotta go for a skew build and hope for the best. He went for the skew build. He hoped, but it was a little bit too much. Let's be real here. 3 Pleasure Seekers is not breaking into a high elf box with a million charged defense against large, right? Now, had he actually broken a few units, maybe. But Adler just did what he needed to do. He boxed up, he played it tight, summoned some cavalry to countercharge. Danican has 1,500 gold walk into the fight. Adler has the home field advantage and everyone is engaged. He pulled a U? What do you mean he pulled a U? This chat. I can't believe you guys. That is true though. Danican did lose faster than me. That is actually quite impressive. Usually I'm the one that super gets hard countered, but yeah, this is just a bad matchup at the end of the day. This was a terror bad matchup. And he went skew build and then he got massacred. There's really not a lot you could do here. Based chat. Yo, my chat. As long as it's in good faith. Every once in a while you get someone that just starts bashing me for no reason. And then I'm like, what the crap? But you know, as long as it's chill, we welcome that here. Yeah, that was a massacre though. That was a bloody massacre. That was so fast I might be able to spectate the other side of the bracket. That was insanely fast. But that's Adlering moving up. We love you, thank you. Yeah, no, unless yeah, I can usually tell decently well just with the text of the chat. No need to worry. No Lord loss and not quite Ent. Oh boy. Yo, the Phantasmagoria trick was fancy. I think if he had a source of terror, he might have been able to punch through. But like, where are you gonna fit terror in there? Honestly, Regiment of Renowned Keeper of Secrets might have been hype. But at the end of the day, Demons of Chaos, they get some real bad hard counters. Surely starting with 2 Pleasure Seekers and 3 Furies is better than 3 Pleasure Seekers for a rush. I don't know, Furies are kind of jank. All right, I think Charix just finished. So that means we don't have to wait. Hell yeah, let's go. And it's at Rift at World's Edge. Hell yeah, all right. Get that one in there. Overconfident Danican when? He's too nice of a guy to be overconfident. I don't know what's wrong with me. The power tripping running through my veins is crazy. Danican's so chill though. My goodness. I think yeah, he's like the easiest person to work with anytime there's like a disconnect or anything. And then they'll just take it to Pound Town. He really is a terrifying player. I think he's won his last few games against me too. Which is why I'm very excited for the best of 9. I think we can get some really solid games. Whoop, that was my knee. We're good though. But yeah, I think we should be getting Charix in here soon. That's cool. Yeah, no. He is super great. You know, every time, win or lose, you know, it's always GG, well played. Anytime I give him, you know, like a ready with an exclamation mark, he says ready with exclamation mark. You know, he's he's there for it. You have some players that are jaded, you know, nothing wrong with that, but they'll like, you know, they'll just ready up, no formalities. They're just like, all right, ready, let's do this. It's the old guard, man. It's the longbeards of the community. They've forgotten what it's like to have joy. You're a poor loser? You mean sore loser, or actually poor loser? It's okay to be poor and to lose. It's also okay to be a sore loser. Honestly, it happens. I very rarely run into people that are okay with losing. Even me, like, you know, you've seen me. I think generally when I lose, there's a bit of deflation sometimes, especially if I feel like it wasn't a good match. But I tried to get past it, you know, work to be better. You know, that's the goal. Not a native English speaker? Totally forgivable, man. Honestly, your English is way better than my Vietnamese. And I'm Vietnamese, like... I think I know like 5 words in Viet. My Cantonese, honestly, your English is probably better than my Cantonese too. So... I have no excuses, alright? I will never fault anyone for having bad English when they're the ones going out of their way to make it easier to speak with me. My goodness. Did you see the end of Legend of Total War? I saw the video. I didn't watch it because I already knew what's going down there. I think it's a shame that Legend is no longer streaming Warhammer. I think life will go on. And I think honestly it's probably the healthy choice from him. As a fellow content creator, I do vibe with a lot of the stuff that he said. The difficulty working with CA on getting important things pushed, things that might feel important to you but they just don't really seem to feel that way. You know, I don't vibe with everything that he's ever said. You know, I think Legend there's like a lot of stuff that I don't agree with him, but I understand where he's coming from. So I do mourn the loss a little bit. But anyways, he's moving on to bigger and better things, you know? What's the point of doing YouTube if you don't enjoy it, right? So I think at the end of the day, I'm happy for him. Let's see. You would say he takes a lot of stuff too seriously and personally. But since it's his full-time job, it's understandable. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that I think a lot of people might miss. You know, you can be more professional. I think like in his early days, he didn't have as much professionalism, and that was kind of his brand. But like, you know, at least like recently, he seems like pretty down to earth. The biggest thing is like, I think he has so much history too. Because back in the day, right, you know, he would just like say whatever he wants. He would get angry about stuff, right? And that's like kind of what people know him as. So even if he did change, people like don't know. Like people remember him as like super salty gamer, right? Because it was just his brand for so long. So yeah, I think some people won't miss him, but that's kind of what happens anyways. Such is life when you are popular. He was always, you know, one thing that I can say about him that was great, he was always really nice to up and coming creators, at least to me, and from what I've seen to some other people too. But he was always ready to like give me shout outs or raid my channel or set up community events that got me into YouTube, like the speedrunning Warhammer campaigns. So like, you know, he was there for that. I think, yeah. If there was no legend, there probably wouldn't be an Anticity. So, yeah. I wonder what he's gonna do next, though. Was he playing? I think he's playing some other game lined up, but it might be on a different channel or something. I don't know. He'll be back next weekend. He could. Nothing wrong with changing your mind, too. Yeah, I stopped playing Warhammer for a good bit. I also got that frustration, and then I came back. Thanks to Battlesea, actually. Oh my gosh, Charx is Skaven, let's go! Alright, this is a harder matchup to play for the High Elves. So I could very well see Charx winning here. Charx plays a mean Skaven. And it's a fairly vanilla High Elf build. So I think, generally speaking, skirmisher builds do better against Skaven. So I'm not the biggest fan of this High Elf build. But I don't think he's at a disadvantage or anything. I would rate it about even right now. The biggest issue are the Jezzails. Yeah, Battlesea's sick. He's actually been streaming and putting up videos a bit lately. So if you miss Battlesea, you can find him there. He does content quite similar to mine. Europa 5 is what he's playing. Oh, thank you so much, Diffusio. Skaven are strong, mighty, yes, yes. Let's take a look. I will say their Storm Vermin are pretty spicy. Quite strong nowadays. Howling Warp Gale, Warp Lightning. Anti-Cav, Anti-Eltharion. Very standard fare. Doom Flayers to bully some infantry. Because Skaven lack cavalry, they need to find alternative forms of mobility. We got the Eshin Sorcerer, they got the Warp Stars, Skitterleap, and Veil of Shadows. Charx, you do not have enough Winds of Magic to have this many spells, you mad lad. So this is all tech spells then. Okay, now he has a Veil of Shadows. All right, Charx, so he's experimenting. That doesn't mean I'm not going to judge his build, okay? I'm not Turin. I'm a player first and foremost. This guy took more damage overcasting the shurikens than it. How'd he injure himself throwing stars? I guess they are warp stars, but anyways, like I said, I'm a player first, so I'm a judge Charx like no one's business, okay? So I need to distinguish myself from Turin. I don't know what he's doing. This is insane. Maybe the warp stars are clutch. This guy costs like 1,000 gold though with all these spells. And Veil of Shadows? On a podcast, I asked Charx if Veil of Shadows was free, but it was the only spell you had to take, would you run it? He said no. He would rather have other spells than a free Veil of Shadows, yet he runs it at 6 Winds of Magic. Surely he has some insane tech coming up. Another Warp Star on Eltharion. Adler misplaying slightly, letting Eltharion take a little bit of damage. Would I have done better? Probably not, but like I said, we're here to judge. This is how I enjoy my Friday evenings. Interesting. You doubt Charx? Mildly. Oh, there it is! There it is! Holy crap! 6 Winds of Magic down the drain immediately! Look at the massive value! What is it doing? I don't know. You should have put it on the archers or something. Gets a good little vortex there on the archers. That's nice. I guess it's gonna stop the High Elves from engaging a bit. He friendly fires his Storm Vermin with the Avalanche Mortars, dealing more damage to himself. This is bad. But despite all of that, you know, the value on Eltharion means he does have a fairly good gold damage lead. If Eltharion actually dies here because of a misplay, Skaven do actually still win this. Despite all those misplays, the loss of Eltharion would be way worse. Avalanche Mortars have retargeted too. Archers taking some deeps, but look at the Skaven slaves just melting to these guys. There's only a couple units of Storm Vermin, and this one routed because of the Avalanche Mortars, thus giving the High Elves an opportunity to push on through. Damage on Eltharion doesn't matter until he dies, so he's still getting a lot of work done. Good cavalry dodge too from the Warp Lightning. And the Skaven right flank is holding, or the Skaven left flank. But that doesn't matter as much. The High Elves are here to rush their range units first and foremost, and we're seeing the left flank starting to collapse now. Company of Caladrian is doing quite well. Some cavalry are pushing through. 1,000 gold Eshin Sorcerer is running for the hills now. He got 440 value. I am not impressed at all by that guy, but we'll see how this goes. Here come the Reavers. Charx is gonna watch this later and be like, man, it just is really bashing me. What'd I do? I'm just having a good time. I'm just having a good time. Charx is an exquisite player. And honestly, it would have been sick to see the Eshin Sorcerer do something, but unfortunately, he kind of got bullied, though. He will likely rally, and maybe he'll get another sick, what's it called? Veil of Shadows. Oh, massive shot here, too. Charge with the counterpunch, holding the line. A lot of these guys are still sticking around, and Eltharian's chilling at half HP. A little worse for wear. Now, there's no Flensing Ruin coming on in. And there's a slight problem with the Skaven. Look at this. Triple cap for the High Elves. High Elves are saying, you know what? Maybe you'll uptrade a bit. But I'm going to get it all back as soon as you try to capture these points. Because guess what? Skaven might have fast infantry, but they're slower than Elves. And they're definitely slower than cavalry. And when you got to spread your army out wide, that is when you will be bullied. Charix, though, saying, I don't care. I'm going to kill all your units. I got Jezzails that are safe. I got an avalanche mortar that's safe. It's probably going to shoot into these Reavers. Can we get the money shot? You can see he's looking at it. He moved the Rat Ogres. Bombs away. Ooh, good play from Adler, though. The partial dodge still takes a little bit of damage on the way out, but doesn't blob up to the avalanche mortars. Warp lightning dropping, though, and he wasn't looking. Maybe he was. He was moving the Ragara's Pride. Very spicy back and forth here. And remember, value tracker, don't trust it that much. Most of the damage is still on Eltharian, and he's been healing himself like crazy. The actual value on the battlefield is still very close. So don't think the High Elves are out by any means. They're going to be able to clear off this point. This one they might be able to hold too. And these weapon teams are miles away. Can they even support Eltharians at half HP? Oh, we got the Eshin Sorcerer, though. I'm noticing that we're not seeing that much magic. Ooh, good shot, though, from the Storm Demon. Eltharian's got to be careful. Jezzails are focusing him. Flies, dodge a couple Jezzail shots. Lucky dude. But the Warp Gale upgraded drops. And oh my gosh, Night Runner's getting a hit. Eltharian lanes, but the Jezzails can still hit him. Is there anything that can body block? Maybe some Reavers if he's lucky. But they rout at the last second. Oh, he did have the magic. He did have the magic for the sick net. And that is going to be paying dividends. The mass ranged on Eltharian. He goes down to 200 HP. 100 HP. 34 HP and 0. There we go. The last shot of the Jezzails takes him out. And suddenly, the High Elves don't look too good. A lot of these units would have been able to get a lot of work done. But getting a little overconfident with the Eltharian. Big minus 16. Gonna put him in a very bad position. See these silver helms? That's 500 gold routing off the battlefield right now. 300 gold worth of archers. And that's it. Charix wins. 1,000 gold down because he took a caster that didn't do nothing. Okay, I guess he threw a few warp stars, but like realistically, this guy didn't do anything. All right. Charix won because of the Eltharian snipe. Eltharian did not get his value. Both players did play really well, but that surprise net, maybe that's how you do it. It looks like you ran out of magic, but really, you still have a good amount. Storm Demon was pretty hyped too. Very nice. Yeah, I think Charix just kind of lured him in, lured Eltharian into a false sense of security. Good avalanche mortar plays too. Despite the friendly fire, they still got some pretty good value. Love to see it. Rat Ogres were played really well. And yeah, this is generally why I like to kite Skaven. There's not a lot of tools that they have to prevent kite. You can dodge the avalanche mortars if they shoot at your skirmishers. And it's just the Jezzails really, but you can even Melkoth them to death. Not the end of the world. Conventional high elf builds, you have to be very careful. Because you got a very expensive lord that you can't lose. But there you go. Charix gets the win. He gets the win. Now I accidentally made the tournament. I finalized it before I even started it. I don't know if that does anything. Charix is at 7 wins. So if he reports his score, let me just remember to report score. Well played. Tournament chat at Charix. Congrats on the win. Okay, so let's see. If he reports his score and then it does it properly, it should show him having 8 tournament wins. And then I can move on with my life. Let's see. So he should be reporting it now. Honestly, nice to see a Skaven win. Very nice to see. I'm like, no, Turin is the legend of, at least size-wise. Okay, so I don't know if it actually counted his turn you win. We had 7 tournament wins before or after the tourney. Yeah, I just gotta make sure he actually gets the appropriate score increase so that Charix can qualify for events and such. Okay, so that is punched in. Never seen him lose. What, me? No, I lose all the time. Yeah, Turin is the largest. Well, jeez, Dr. Ripper. Jeez, rude. Maybe after his hot dog eating streams. Yeah, the amount of times he talks about hot dog contests. Not because he's a big guy, but just because because he likes to torture other content creators. All right, so I'm gonna give Charix the tournament win, and then we're gonna call it a day. Solid 2-hour stream today. With the number of signups, this was actually an extraordinarily short tournament. I wish I could do best of 3s, but then it like triples the time that the tournament goes for. So we'll just do a quick single elim then. Fun though, very fun. Adler got 2nd place. And to all of you, I wish you a great weekend. For today is Friday. Now tomorrow I'll probably do another quick tournament because I got an appointment to go to. But I should be hosting on Tuesday. We will have our best of 9 against Danican. And then maybe I'll take a Wednesday off and try to edit some videos. I want to find a good format that I can do. I'll need to figure out a good video format to oh, what the, who has a 90% win rate? Sipa? That's crazy. But yeah, I'll want to experiment with some formats. We'll see what we can do. But anyways, I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.